I really think brands need to start thinking of creators as their partner. Most brands really still think of creators like a celebrity or a commercial actor that they're hiring to read a script. I really think that's wrong, and I think most brands should think about their creators as brand ambassadors who are true fans of their products first, and who will really authentically talk about their product. I mean, you look at Alex Earle, she loved Poppy before she became an investor and an equity owner in Poppy. Joe Rogan loved carnivore snacks before he became, an equity owner. Finding those true fans and then reaching out to them to work with them, that's the way to go, versus going to somebody who's never heard of your brand and asking them to say, I love your brand. I think there needs to be some genuineness. I think in the face of the AI, flood that is coming, that's how we combat AI, artificial content, is we really have to lean into storytelling and into authentic connections between people. Creators are the new studio heads. So when brands are thinking of working with creators, you need to think of them as studio heads or CEOs. These are not actors you're hiring to sell your product. These are business owners who are going to be your partner. This is why I think, brands who are working with creators, especially the bigger ones, need to be giving equity. I mean, when you say to somebody, I'm going to give you ownership in this company, I want you to talk about us as if you are part of us. That's a very different mentality when you're approaching a creator as the future studio heads. I think we're going to have maybe 100 studios that are headed by creators. I mean, you look at Mr. Beast, you look at Darman, you look at Good Mythical Morning, they're already studios of their own. In the next 5 years, the major studios will try to buy up some of these channels to become part of their studio. And so I think that's the trend, and maybe that's what, brands get wrong right now about creators. I think the biggest mistake that most creators make, and most of my clients are on YouTube, is they think of themselves like, oh, YouTube is my business. And I have to remind them and say, no, YouTube is the marketing arm of your business. You're the business, right? And you should have 8 to 10 to 12 revenue streams. You should have AdSense and brand deals, yes, as your foundation, but you should have a community. Do you have an email list? Do you have merch? Do you have products? Do you have a course? Do you have affiliate marketing lockdown? I mean, last year, I almost sold one of my clients' channels for $35 million. And it's because he has 10 or 12 revenue streams. The private equity funds were interested in that. The channel was actually a very small part of his business. It was the marketing arm, but it was all these other revenue streams that brought him to 7 figures. And I actually convinced him to not sell, because I said, you know what, you're going to hit this number in 3 years anyway. Why give up 50% of your channel? And I'll share this news with you. I'm about to start a creator fund, and it's going to have an accelerator attached to it. And I believe that the creators who will be successful in the accelerator and the fund will be the ones who already think in themselves as a business. I have 4 to 5 revenue streams. I want to build it out to 8 to 10. And that is how you become a proper media company and a real studio. That's the future. 6 funds were started in the last 12 months. 2 of them were creator funds. So if the eyeballs and the investors are on this space, then it really indicates that this is the future. I mean, Goldman Sachs says that this is going to be a $500 billion industry in 2 years. It seems so far away, but we're approaching that number already. We're at, I think, $250 billion right now. Podcast is so important, especially video podcasts. Some of my clients that do the best, like the one that was about to sell, he's a podcast. I have several huge podcast creators right now who are in audio only, who have come to me asking me to guide them into creating content on YouTube, because they understand that the trend is towards video podcasts. And you look at Joe Rogan, I mean, some would say that he determined, the outcome of this election, this last election. And the fact that Trump worked with so many podcasts, it reached the audience that he needed to reach. And unfortunately, the Democrats didn't do that.